For some reason, the music is coming with an echo. I will have to take a look at that. When we talk about Anna, what is the first thing that comes to mind? Well, usually when you talk about Hannah, you think about Elkanah, you think about Samuel, but very few people think about the pain that she may have endured. You know, Hannah, as opposed to Esther, who was the queen, she came as a simple mother, as a spouse. She was the mother of the prophet Samuel, and she unfolds in the central highlands of ancient Israel during the early Iron Age, as experts called it. Why is her story so out of the ordinary? Well, Hannah was a woman of faith, but also of sorrow. She lived in Ramah. She married a good man, Elkanah, but she suffered because she couldn't have children. And if you add to this the mockery, the constant bullying of Penina, Elkanah's other wife, you can tell how much she suffered. Her heart was heavy with sadness, and although her husband loved her to death, that did not ease her emptiness. That didn't ease the pain. When you think about women who did not have children, can you think of other Bible examples that may have suffered not as much as Hannah, because Hannah is special, but can you think of other Bible characters, women that were in a similar position as Hannah? Let's call Linda. Linda?
Yes, Sarah.
Sarah, that's right. Abraham's wife. Sister Chernoff. I open your mic.
Jephthah's daughter.
Jephthah's daughter. Oh, I didn't know she was barren. I guess I learned something new today. Bruni.
Hi, yes, Rachel.
Rachel, the mother of Joseph. Very nice. Rose.
Elizabeth, the mother of John the Baptizer.
That's right. For a little bit, she was also barren. Very good, Rose. Very good. Let me see. Tamara.
Samson's mother as well.
Samson's mother. Yes. Yeah. That was mentioned as well. Very good. You guys did very good. I think Anthony or Pocahontas.
I was thinking the Shulamite that helped Elijah.
The Shulamite that helped Elijah. Ah, so
He gave her
she gave what?
he gave her a son.
That's right. Thank you. Wow. Ginger. Oops. Ginger.
Did someone say Sarah?
Yes, that was the first one.
Okay.
Yeah. But good call. Good call. Well, friends, I think we have covered all the answers. I noticed that some of you are raising your hand, and maybe you're raising your hand because you probably did not hear the answers that were shared before. If you know of someone, or if you think I may have missed someone, feel free to mention it on the chat, and that will be better. Okay. If you think we missed someone, feel free to put it on the chat. Okay. And friends, I will give you all the Zoom IDs for Ed Salazar's and the other tours at the end of the tour. Okay. If you want to notice that that you want to get that. Okay, very good. So friends, we being barren in the Bible, it's nothing new. So, but we're going to see why Hannah's situation is a little different. So if I were to ask you, for those of you who love to study deep things, which tribe was Elkanah from? Which tribe was Elkanah from? Let's invite Sarah.
Ephraim.
Ephraim. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Sarah. Let's ask one more person. Teresa, where is Elkanah? What's his tribe?
Judah.
Judah. Okay. The good thing about virtual tours is that I will never correct you. I will just keep asking the question until we get the right answer, and everybody learns. LaRonda Davis, I think you have taken this tour before, so you may know the answer.
Now, this is my first time, but I was going to say Levi.
Yeah, you got it. You got it. If this is your first time, you got
Yeah.
it. Girl.
Mhm.
Was from the tribe of Levi. For those of you who participated, thank you very much. But now you know the real answer. Friends, look at the impact that Hannah did because of her faith, because of her endurance, because of her prayer, because of her loyalty, because once she made a commitment, she had to deliver. Hannah has a direct connection with the King of Kings, David. Amazing, the connection, right? A life of enduring service. Just wanted to give you a highlight before we get into the nitty-gritty of the tour. Friends, my wife and I, 2 years ago, had the privilege of traveling to Israel, had the privilege of understanding the culture, how women are treated, and how Hannah may have truly been affected. And back then, being pregnant was the biggest blessing a woman can have. So please pay attention to this as we go over the tour. Ramah was the place where Hannah lived. Shiloh is the place where the tabernacle used to be. So even though it looks close, it was far away. And she will go there 3 times a year for the festival. And each time she will pray to Jehovah. We don't know how many years or how many times she actually went to the tabernacle, but we can consider it a woman of faith. Here's the Metropolitan Museum of Art of New York City, which is included on our Bethel trips. So if you join our Bethel trips, you may be the fortunate to go to the largest museum in the United States. It has the largest amount of artifacts related to Egypt and other nations, and it's very popular because of the accuracy of the artifact. In fact, in this tour, we're going to see one of those artifacts. Well, let's go back. Let's go back to the weight of silence. This is episode 1. We're going to talk about episode 2 at the end of the tour. But think about Shiloh. Shiloh is a place that in the Bible, it is referred as the place where earth touches heavens. How is that possible? How can earth touch heavens? Well, this was where the tabernacle was. And this was where people will come to pray to Jehovah. That was the practice back then. A place where true worship took place. And these are all the 12 tribes of Israel and how the land was distributed. And as you can see, Ramah was part of Benjamin and Shiloh was part of Ephraim. And we know that the Levites, they did not have a possession per se, because they were all a line of priests, and that's where Elkanah was from. This is what the place looks like right now. It looks like a desert. But to think about that the temple was there for almost 400 years is truly amazing. Truly amazing that uh, that everyone from around town will travel to go there. And it was called the center of pure worship. And a family, which was divided, will have to go there 3 times a year. Elkanah was the husband, Hannah was the beloved but barren wife, and Peninnah was the fertile second wife, whose presence was a constant reminder of Hannah's pain. You know, when I went to Ireland, I met someone named uh, Penina, and I asked how she was named after, if it was after the Bible character, and she says yes, because Elpina also suffered the lack of love for her husband. So both women actually suffer. We're gonna focus on Hannah because she was the one that prayed to Jehovah, but both women, I'm pretty sure they suffered through this ordeal. No wonder Jehovah put an end to polygamy. But at the end of the day, it was a divided household. And both women were relatively happy to some extent, but they were not truly happy or fully happy because of the situation that was taking place. To give you an idea, everybody knew each other in town. Everybody knew that Hannah was barren and that Peninnah was the one with the children. But everybody also knew that Elkanah was in love with Anna, and he was not as much in love with Peninnah. So it was a drama that was known by everyone. And some people even understand it to some extent. Can anybody help me read what polygamy was like in Bible times? Let's call Isetta Williams to help us with the reading. Did you know?
Polygamy was legal, but in Elkanah's home, it brought pain and rivalry. Hannah suffered every day seeing Peninnah with her children, a cruel reminder of her own infertility. The struggle for her husband's love and her place in the family plunged her into constant anguish.
Yeah. And her husband will try to comfort her, but like most husbands, we may not understand fully what our wives are going through. Because he told Hannah, hey, you've got me. But that's not what Anna wanted. Anna wanted to fulfill Bible prophecy by offering an offspring. She was a spiritual person. But nevertheless, aside from being a spiritual person, she was also human. She was also human and with feelings. Now, the Bible does says that Peninnah, out of her uncomfortable situation, because if Elkanah was not paying attention to her, if Elkanah was only paying attention to Hannah, then Peninnah will, I don't know, what would you say? Will take revenge on that situation, and she will provoke her. Can anybody help me read the first book of Samuel, chapter 1, verse 6? And I'm not trying to excuse what Peninnah did. I'm just trying to help you understand that both sides were suffering. Mary?
The provocation, the words of Peninnah, Elkanah's second wife, fall like all daggers on Hannah's wounded heart. Trying to comfort Hannah. Do you want me to read that?
No. Let's read the first book of Samuel, chapter 1, verse 6, to see what Peninnah did to Hannah. Can somebody open their Bible and help me read First book of Samuel, chapter 1, verse 6. Sister Randolph, please. We're talking about the first book of Samuel, chapter 1, verse 6. Randolph, can you, your mic is open, but we cannot hear you. Okay, there's something wrong with her mic. Let's ask Sister Moore.
Okay. It reads, moreover, her rival wife taunted her relentlessly in order to upset her because Jehovah had not given her children.
Mhm. That's what Penina did. We don't know why, but she did it. Maybe, I don't know, she was trying to get revenge. Let's see how her husband tried to fix the situation. Let's ask Cheryl Bowles.
Okay. But her husband, Elkanah, said to her, Hannah, why do you weep? And why do you not eat? And why are you so sad? Am I not better to you than 10 sons?
Isn't that what a typical man will say? What is wrong? Ay, my God, we're so distracted. We're so distracted. He probably never saw this. He probably never figured it out. And we can see that on this Bible text. So yeah, men are distracted. I wish he would have noticed. If he would have said something different, maybe it would have helped. But we're all imperfect. The curse of infertility. What is the curse of infertility? Let's ask Marjorie to read it for us. Where's Marjorie? She move? Yeah, she move. Okay, let's ask Eileen.
The curse of infertility. In biblical culture, fertility was not just a personal desire, it was a sign of divine favor. Infertility was experienced as a curse, an unbearable social shame.
Unbearable social shame. There's nothing like this in the Bible, but people took it personal. And friends, there was a business around this situation. How do we say there was a business? Look at the many artifacts from other nations that are connected to fertility. There were many, many gods of fertility that other nations will worship that were found in daily life in ancient Israel. Let me show you one. This one is of particular importance because this one is in the Met Museum. Michelle Terry.
Between the 8th and 6th centuries BCE, these small female figurines were produced in large numbers in Judah. They depict a nude woman holding her breast with a pillar-shaped body and a molded head with a curly hairstyle. They were found in homes, not temples, indicating domestic use, probably related to home protection and fertility. Some associate them with the Canaanite goddess Asherah, although others believe they were simple amulets. The Bible mentions that many Israelites worshipped Asherah alongside Jehovah, something the prophets denounced.
Yes, indeed. Asherah. Let me show you something else. This is the original website, right? If you go to the Met, this is the page. You're going to see that. But I'm going to get you a larger print so that you're able to read it. Can anybody help me read the last sentence? The last sentence. Sam, please. Sam is not allowing me to open his mic. Let's go to Jennifer.
Some literary evidence in ancient Israel even speaks of Asherah as the consort of Yahweh himself.
Does anybody know what the English word consort means? Bill and Pat?
I think it means like a kept woman or a girlfriend.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, friends, of course, this is not true, but this is what the museum is putting. Does anybody know what a curator does at a museum? What does a curator does in a museum? Rita. Rita?
He looks up, he tells you what certain things mean. He tries to put evidence to what happens, what these things mean.
So, if the museum puts that some literacy evidence in ancient Israel speaks of Asherah as the consort of Yahweh, is because there are evidence that support as such. What's the point? The point is, if being infertile or barren, and we recognize that it had a social and identity value, if we recognize that in Hannah's place, it contributed to her anguish, and in addition to that, there was no clear sign that this was going to disappear anytime soon. When we add all of that, then we can feel the pain that Anna may be suffering. Let me ask a few questions just to review what we have done. How did infertility affect women in ancient Israel? And you got four choices, but not all the choices. There's one choice that is better than all the other ones. Teresa, what's the choice?
Repeat that again. I didn't quite hear that.
Yeah. What is the best choice?
Well, there is no best choice. So it's all of the above.
Yeah, all of the above is the best choice. So, how does infertility affect women in Israel? It was seen as a deep social and personal shame. It made it worse by allowing polygamy, right? And it was a sign of divine displeasure. Not a sign that you can prove with the Bible, but a sign that people have decided to believe. Let's ask another question. What type of belief people had at that time that could reverse infertility? What type? And be careful here. Be careful. Is not the same answer as the previous answer. Beth?
Prayer and divine intersection, and on offerings of sacrifice to Jehovah in the sanctuary.
Okay. If you have to pick one between those two, which one do you think is the best?
Offering sacrifices to Jehovah.
Mm, yeah, yeah. Fervent prayer meant faith, consistency, and persistency. Anybody can sacrifice an animal, but only a spiritual person will be praying consistently, asking for Jehovah's direction. I mean, she's part of a spiritual family, right? Her husband came from a line of a priest. They used to go to the temple 3 times a year. And then at the temple, it was the beacon of hope, the place where, as I said before, earth touched heaven, or heaven touched earth, one of the two. So there's the distance that she traveled. So taking this in consideration, take a look at the following questions. What did Shiloh represent for ancient Israel? What did Shiloh represent for ancient Israel? Gina? Oh, I opened.
The main religious center with the tabernacle and the Ark of the Covenant.
Very good. All the other answers may be right. It was a place of commerce outside. It was a social gathering, yeah. But the best answer, it was the main religious center. And that's where the Ark of the Covenant was. Can anybody help me read what Shiloh truly represented? And let's add Sister Sil.
Oh, Shiloh, the religious center of Israel. Here was the tabernacle, God's portable dwelling place. The Ark of the Covenant rested in the most holy place, and it was the only place where legitimate sacrifices could be offered to the Most High.
Indeed. Remember this, according to Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 12. So, the tabernacle, for 400 years, that was the place. I show you a video at the beginning of the tour showing you the archaeological excavation that has confirmed its location and the structure, revealing the silent testimony of Hannah's grief and hope. So now, when you look for Shiloh on YouTube or even in Watchtower publication, now you know the significant impact on all of this. But why did they need to go to Shiloh? Was there something written? Can anybody help me read The Long Road to Shiloh? Carolyn Morris?
Every year, faithful Israelite families undertook an annual journey to Shiloh. Depending on their place of origin, this journey could involve traveling between 30 and 50 kilometers on foot or by donkey through mountainous terrain and dusty roads. This distance, while not monumental by modern standards, represented several days of travel with all the challenges that entailed heat, safety, and transporting supplies. For Hannah, this journey was not only physically exhausting, but also an arduous journey of faith and hope.
Good reading. Good reading. Taking that in consideration, friends, let's ask a few questions just to get the main idea of all of this. What was in the tabernacle at Shiloh? What made it special? Let's ask.
The Ark of the Covenant.
Ark of the Covenant.
Yes.
The Ark of the Covenant. Yeah. The Ark of the Covenant. Be careful, because I changed some of the answers to make it look like it's the right answer, but it's not the right answer. The Ten Commandments on scrolls, you know, that's true. It's to tablet. The statue of the god Baal. No, I don't think so. A great altar of external sacrifices. No. So the Ark of the Covenant made it special. And why is the Ark of the Covenant a special thing? Winston or Juanita?
It represented Jehovah's presence, and that that was the place that he favored for sacrifices.
Yeah, it was, like Winston mentioned, a representation of Jehovah's presence. So now you know why people call Shiloh the place where the earth touched heavens. What function did the tabernacle at Shiloh serve? Stalin, isn't that the same question? Judy or Jody?
That would be all of the above.
Okay. Thank you. Rita.
It's the
Rita.
dwelling place of the Ark of the Covenant, symbolizing the presence of God among the people.
There you go. There you go. Because we cannot say that it was a meeting, a place to unifying point for the 12 tribes of Israel. And we cannot say it was the main center of worship and sacrifice for the people of Israel. The best answer is the dwelling place. This is the main thing, not the actual activities, because the actual activities can take place anywhere else. But it was the place where Jehovah dwelled. People can see the cloud. People can feel the presence of Jehovah. And that made it an absolute special place. Why am I talking so much about this? Because if there's a cloud on top of the tabernacle, if you can see the cloud from the outside, if you can see the bronze laver where they will wash their hand, if you can see the bronze altar where they will put the animal, and you can see it from the outside, what are you thinking? What is Anna thinking? Can you describe this picture? Can you think what's going through her mind right now? Crystal?
She was probably thinking, I want to serve Jehovah to the best of my ability, but I'm not able to do that because she feels maybe like she's not being blessed. She hasn't had a child yet.
Yeah. Or maybe she's thinking, this is it. This is the year. Philip or Deborah?
I was thinking the same thing. Looking at the picture, we can see the stress and anguish that's on Hannah's face. And in the background is Penina with her children, and Hannah has none. So perhaps she's thinking that by her being here at this time, that there will be a change for her.
And the reason why I'm making emphasis on this, we had our family watch our study at Bethel, and on Monday we studied the article for Sunday. God's love is enduring. Remember this picture when you study that Watchtower article. Okay, Clarence.
I was thinking that she may have felt that divine favor favored Penia more, and she may have felt that she have not receiving divine favor from Jehovah.
Out of all the trips, friends, I do not know which trip was this. We already read First Book of Samuel, chapter 1, verse 6. Remember that Peninnah was also suffering, so we don't want to make Peninnah the bad guy or the bad girl. She was also suffering, okay? Human imperfection. So think about this. After the family sacrifice during the meal, Peninnah openly provoked Hannah. Why did she do it? Maybe out of jealousy, maybe she wanted her husband attention. I don't know. But this time, her words will cut like a brand new sword. Her heart is already broken. And Hannah simply has come to the complete end. And just before she broke to the point that she was not function, she had a thought. And she said, you know what? I need some me time at the temple. I don't know how she did it because the Bible does not say. But the Bible does say that she must have left the place where they were meeting. Remember that she has no hunger. and she goes to the temple. And it must have been, during the daylight, people will be there. But this time, instead of showing up with the family, she goes there by herself. And this is where a text in the Bible really comes to mind. Does anybody know a text in the letter to the Romans about speaking to Jehovah in terms that you cannot even put words into it? Does anybody remember what that text is at? That's what I'm thinking right now. Because Hannah probably does not know how to put things into words. Jean, do you know what I'm talking about? Jean Bauer? Okay. Let's talk to Barbara Wallace. Okay. Let's talk to Barbara Moyo.
Yes, I'm not sure exactly where it is, but I believe it's the scripture that talks about when words fail me, how Jehovah also, he can still read the heart. I'm not sure exactly where it is.
All right. You and I are in the same boat with that. So that's the text that I'm thinking right now. Frederick or Ira.
Romans 8:26.
8:26. That's the one, chapter 8.
I can read it.
Please.
It says, in like manner, the Spirit also joins in with help for our weakness. For the problem is that we do not know what we should pray for as we need to, but the Spirit itself pleads for us with unuttered groanings.
There you go. Unspeakable words. And that's what Anna is doing right now. In this moment of the greatest despair, maybe this is the day before they return home. I don't know. Maybe this is the day that they arrive. I really don't know. But whatever I'm thinking is that every day that passes by and her prayer is not answered, it's a day of agony. And a prayer without words. The Bible says that the priest, the only thing he saw was a mumbling. Just the lips were moving, but he could not tell what was happening. And just when things did not get worse, this is what happened. Teresa?
A confused observer, the high priest Eli, sitting at the entrance of the tabernacle, watched this scene with growing disapproval. He confused Hannah's spiritual agony with drunkenness, not understanding that she was witnessing one of the most sacred moments in the history of Israel.
Yeah. Can things get worse? Absolutely. But what would a spiritual person do? How did Anna respond to the accusation? Do you remember? What did she say? Les?
Am I on? Can you?
Yes.
Okay, she was very respectful to Eli because of his position as high priest, even though Bishop Weishaupt study brought out, well known in Israel, his lack of parental responsibilities and so forth. So, but she still showed him respect.
Indeed. He was known in the town. It was public knowledge. Karen.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
No, how did Anna respond to this?
Oh yeah, she just like the brother said, she responded with much
respect, and she just let him know that, you know, that she was praying, that she was not intoxicated, but she was very respectful, recognizing that he was an anointed, he was a king or high priest. I'm sorry, high priest.
I got you. I got you, girl. Got you. There was no king back then, so it was me, the high priest. Friends, look at the picture. And obviously, Hannah is the one in front. What do you see on her face? What happened after that prayer? And if you have to answer this question, can you answer it with a Bible text? Looking at this picture, this is Hannah. If you have to use a Bible text, what Bible text can you use to explain what's happening with her? Let's see. Diane, please.
Yes, she was no longer downcast. At 1 Samuel 1:18, it says, "Let your servant find favor in your eyes." And the woman went on her way and ate, and her face was no longer downcast. So she was happy.
Without doubt. But what happened? Can we use a Bible text to explain why her worry was wiped out of her face? Her sadness disappeared completely. Something took place. What was that something? Teresa.
Which Teresa?
Oh, Teresa Reynolds, the only one with the mic open?
Yeah. Okay. Well, Eli answered her, going in peace in 17, and the God of Israel grant your petition that you have asked of him. And but she also said, let your servant find favor in your eyes. And the woman went on her way and ate, and her, as it said, her face is no longer downcast, but her looking at this face, I see peace. She finally had the peace that she had needed, that Jehovah had answered her prayer. And then Levi, the priest, the priest, he didn't berate her anymore, thinking that she was indulging in alcohol. So that was that's quite a feat, that she took her total reliance on Jehovah, that he would answer her request. So she's no longer being concerned about Peninnah. Just she's happy.
Friends, would you mind joining me in reading the Bible? Let's go to the letter to the Philippians, chapter 4, verse 6 and 7. And let's read two verses that truly explain the miracle that Anna went through. Letter to the Philippians, chapter 4, verse 6 and 7. And we're going to ask Monica Lore to read it for us.
Do not be anxious over anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication, along with thanksgiving, let your petitions be made known to God. And the peace of God, just 6?
No. And then I say, why do we want to do that? Verse 7.
Okay. And the peace of God that surpasses all understanding will guard your hearts and your mental powers by means of Christ Jesus.
There you go. And I think Teresa, thank you, Monica, good reading. I think Teresa hit it on the nail when she said she was at peace, or God has given her peace. And that, from verse 7, the peace of God that surpasses all understanding will guard your hearts and your mental powers. Paul, when he wrote this, he was thinking about Hannah. But we can see, can you see the peace of God on someone? Absolutely. Look at that face. It wasn't like her problems disappeared or she didn't have a problem now. She just left her problems in Jehovah's eyes. That's why this will be a good opportunity to tell your friends to please pray for me so I can finish episode 2 where Hannah has her baby, and after having the baby, she needs to fulfill her promise. What other Bible character in this story will come here and will probably meet Samuel? Because their stories overlap. Well, stay tuned. We hope to see you soon on another episode of my virtual Bible Tour Presents. Don't forget about our YouTube channel. You can watch 24/7 from your phone, your tablet, or your TV, and you can share with friends when they visit you at your house. We have 450 videos in Spanish and English. We have jokes, we have riddles, we have anything you can possibly want. We can have it on that channel for your enjoyment. Friends, thank you. Thank you again for your prayers, your sincere concerns with me, my dad, my family, and the whole 9 yards. So I thank you very much, and I hope to see you again very, very soon. Okay, I'm going to stop the sharing. I'm going to stop the YouTube. Bye.